Hey everyone, this is my second video. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about my background, of how I was diagnosed with IC. And if you don't know what IC is, it is interstitial cystitis. It's an inflamed bladder. They don't really know what causes it. It could be a variety of things, or it could technically just be one thing. Everybody's body is different. There's not one size fits all. Every woman or man is very different when they are diagnosed with it, and it can be like very different symptoms as well. So it's not like when you have like a common cold or a UTI, like you can go get that taken care of. It's something very specific that causes a lot of irritation in your body that isn't like an easy fix. So I was diagnosed in my early 20s, and I thought at first it was just a UTI, so I went to the doctors and got checked out, and everything came back normal. And I was like, well, this is impossible, I thought I had a UTI. Well, then they suggested I go to a urologist, and that's when they diagnosed me with IC. And I was very surprised. I'd never heard of it before. I had urinary issues as a kid, but I was never diagnosed with that until I got older, and I never really had the issues I had then as much. I had like the burning when I pee, I need to pee like every minute feeling, irritation down there when I wear certain things. It just wasn't fun. Isn't fun. And I tried so many different treatments. I tried so many different medicines, and none of it worked. Sometimes I'd get temporary relief, but then it would come back. My flares could be months at a time, weeks at a time, days at a time, depending on what was going on in my life. My most recent flare has been almost a year and a half. But I think this flare has really taught me a lot, to be honest. Even though I used to be pretty depressed about my condition, I realized that there is hope, and that's why I made this channel. But to go back a little bit, when I was kind of in the midst of all of this, I'm sorry for my words. Bear with me as you watch my videos. I try to be 100% raw and vulnerable and just me. I don't usually edit my videos unless I need to delete it and redo it. But anyway, I felt like I was just kind of like in a dark place for a long time, feeling like there was never going to be any relief for me. And when I would finally get relief for a short time, I was happy, and I thought maybe the medicine was helping. Maybe I was finally cured. Not the best word to use, but that's how I felt at the time. But then it came back. And a few years back, 3 or 4 years, I think, I came upon a lady on my TikTok that also had IC, and she actually got relief. And she started a program. She's a bladder dietitian as well, but she also works with you on your nervous system, checks in with you to see how you're doing. There's an elimination diet that you can do. You can talk to other people who also have similar conditions or have IC. And it's just a really good program, but I was very hesitant at first because when you pay out for something, you want to make sure it's something that's going to benefit you and help you. And I'd already spent a lot of money in debt for different treatments that I had, and I will specify those in a different video. I just kind of wanted to give you like a background of my story and a little bit of like what I went through. And I think I did kind of talk about it in my first video as well, but that was more of my introduction. But anyway, Callie Nutrition, if you want to check her out. But like, I watched her on TikTok for a few years before I even decided to dive in, because I was scared that it would just be another hopeless road, like you go through all these different medical things and nothing's helping, and you just kind of feel lost and confused and you don't know what to do. And at the time I was watching her videos, I was at a very toxic job in terms of just unhealthy relationships with people that I knew at my job, and I loved teaching, but it just became very stressful for me, and I think I had a lot of stress in my body and a lot of anxiety, and I think I always have. I've always been more overthinker type person, people-pleasing type person, and it's something I've been working on for years, but I never really like dealt with it the way that I think you're supposed to deal with things. But I was doing the best I could. But when I joined her program, I kid you not, I started back in February. So you can imagine it was a long road of watching her videos and looking into things and saving up money and making sure I was making the right decision on my life, my journey, my medical back, like things that I'm going to do to help myself, pretty much is what I'm trying to say. Um, but joining her program, I was really nervous, apprehensive. I didn't know if I was going to be successful, but I just knew I was at rock bottom and I couldn't go any lower. I could only go higher. And I kid you not, even the first Zoom call that I had with Callie Beverly, which is a lady that helps her in the program, the other ladies that I also talk with, seeing them go through the same struggles I did gave me like even the smallest amount of hope. And as each week passed and the more I dived into the courses and getting to know Callie and Beverly and some of the other ladies, I realized that I was in an even darker place than I thought. And I was still scared. I was still doubtful just because of all of the history with my medical stuff not going well, having horrible interactions with doctors, and just not a fun time at all. And I was already at a stressful place because I had just left my job in May, so I was still working when I started this program. But I started working on the nervous system stuff and working on like recording like what I'm eating and how much I go to the bathroom in the day, like urinary, that sort of thing. But I started realizing that I need to advocate for myself more, number one, when I'm going to a doctor, telling them this is how I feel, this is what I've been through, and this is what I need from you. And if they're not giving that to me, I go to someone else. It's not that I'm criticizing doctors, but you have to find a doctor that's going to listen to you and help you and not just tell you there's nothing they can do. And maybe there truly isn't anything they can do as far as medical stuff, but if they're for holistic things and they're willing to help you that way, or they can give you like treatment options and they can just kind of reassure you, that's the best kind of doctor you could ever have. And also having connections that I made in the group, being able to talk to them outside of it, knowing that they're going through the same thing I am, or maybe they got relief doing maybe nervous system stuff or whatever it was. It gives me hope to try things. And I will say, last summer, which is way before, like I said, I started the program, I didn't start till this past February. It'll be almost a year soon, which is insane to me. But anyway, last summer, I never got out of bed. I think I mentioned this in the first video, but it's just really important to keep bringing it up. I always kind of like made excuses not to go places, or if I did go places, I was just miserable the whole time. And now I'm able to like go do things and like feel good that I know even if I'm having symptoms, I'm gonna be okay. That this isn't gonna take my life, because it's very debilitating and it really takes a lot of your life and your time and your energy, and it's just exhausting. And mental health is very important to me, and I think it's something that can really drain you. And I was just very drained, and I felt like it was affecting my relationship with people. And now I just feel like there's hope. I have a lot of small wins, and I just want other people to know that there is hope for you with whatever chronic pain you have. If you have vulvodynia, if you have IC, if you have back pain, arthritis, whatever it may be, it can be a variety of things. I will say though, I highly suggest reading a Nicole Sachs book, checking out Callie's program if you have similar conditions like I do. I recommend looking up people who are holistic, because I'm reading a book right now and it's by Nicole Sachs, and she was someone that had some health issues, and then she came across Journal Speak, which is when you journal for 20 minutes, then you do a meditation for 10 minutes, and it breaks it down in the book about what Journal Speak is. So definitely check that out. And like I said, I'm going to do other videos with a more specific idea of what I'm talking about. I just figured I'd make this one since I haven't made a video since my introduction a couple days ago. But I did not realize that your body can give you symptoms when you're having anxiety, depression, repressed feelings. And it's not that you did something wrong, it's just that your body is trying to protect you. And then it gives you symptoms that can cause like issues with things like my bladder stuff. my biggest issue right now is like my urgency and frequency. So I've been working on that. I've been reading the Journal Speak book. I've been doing classes that we have in the program. Highly suggest. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about in this video, is just kind of like a more in-depth of my background with the program I'm starting to see progress with, and like, just so you know that there's hope. I'm already seeing little wins, and don't get me wrong, I have days where I get very like depressed and feel like giving up and feeling like nothing's working, but then I look back at myself a year ago and I see how much progress I've made and how much more knowledge I have and more belief in myself. And even though I struggle every day with this, and it's not always pretty, life isn't pretty. It's never going to be easy. But knowing that I can show you that I'm still going through this, but I'm seeing results, and I know people who have had results, they can do it, and so can you. So I hope that if anyone is watching these videos, that I'm motivating you to not give up, and to know that it's okay to seek help for mental health. It's okay to change doctors if you need to. Make sure you are being heard in your doctor's appointments. And that goes with anything. Don't be afraid to speak up for yourself. Don't be afraid to admit you need help. And if there's a program or something that you've been hesitating on, go for it. Don't hesitate. And if you don't have the money to do those sort of things, I highly suggest YouTube, looking up different holistic people and their free resources. There's so many. And I highly recommend making sure you're doing well enough that you don't need counseling, and to know that it's okay to have counseling. Make sure you're doing something for yourself. So, have a good night.